Hi, this is our Delta Airlines ratio analysis presentation. My name is Kurt Schultz,
I'm Ferris Medane.
I'm Khalil Karaki.
and today we'll start off with our current ratio. This is to see if a company in question, in this case, Delta Airlines, has enough resources to meet their short-term obligations. You find this out by taking the current assets and dividing them by the current liabilities. As you can see from this 4-year range taken from 2014 to 2017, there's been a slight downtrend in the current ratio. Next, we have our asset turnover. This is used to measure how efficiently Delta Airlines can generate revenue with the assets or inventory that they have on hand. You find this out by taking the company's net sales and dividing them by their average total assets. From this 4-year range that you can see that they've actually gone up a bit and actually steadied out for the last 3 years. This is good. This means that they can more efficiently turn over their inventory for revenue. And next, we have our inventory turnover. This is used to measure the number of times a company's average inventory is sold during a given period. It's calculated by taking the cost of goods sold and dividing that amount by the average inventory. In Delta Airlines case, we take the fuel inventory into account. And the 4-year range from 2014 to 2017 shows that they've actually gone down. So they've been able to turn over the inventory less and less throughout the given years. Next, we'll pass it off to Ferris.
All right, we have our debt to assist ratio. This is used to determine how much of a company is financed by creditors on a percentage basis. You can calculate this company's debt to assist ratio by taking their total liabilities and dividing it by total assets. From 2014 to 2017, we see a steady decline in percentage. And the data shows throughout 4 years, Delta Airlines was relying less and less on being financed by creditors. Our interest coverage ratio. This is to identify whether a company can pay interest on their debts. We calculate this by taking net income along with all income tax expenses, then divide it by the interest expense. This results in a net income that exceeds interest expenses by 15.44 to 1. Based on the results, we can conclude year 2014 stands out due to a significantly smaller ratio of 3.39 to 1. And then we have a profit margin, a company's most valued ratio. To identify how profitable their business is, you calculate this by taking net income divided by total revenues. This gives us a profit margin for 2017 of 8.67%. In conclusion, we can see a significant increase in profit margin from 2014 to 2015, but sales are now tapering off into 2017.
The next thing we're going to talk about is the return on assets. The return on assets shows how profitable a company's assets are generating revenue. This is calculated by the net income over the total assets. So for the return on assets in Delta Airlines in 2017 was 6.71%, which is down from 8.53% in 2016 and 8.25% in 2015. While the downward trend is not necessarily bad, this can be because Delta is adding more assets and this does not show the real value added to the shareholders of the company. And roughly 5% year over year is okay. So moving on to the next slide, we have the return on equity, which measures the financial performance calculated by dividing net income and shareholders' equity. And the higher, the better. This indicates that a company's management deploys shareholder capital. And for the return on equity in 2017 was 25.72%, which is down from 35.59% in 2016 and 41.71% in 2015, but an increase from 7.40% in 2014. And this is a little concerning because that means that the parts for Delta Airlines is losing year over year since 2015. Finally, returning onto the last slide, is Delta Airlines worth investing in? Based on the information given and calculated from me, Ferris, and Kurt, Delta Airlines is not worth the investment. There are downward trends of key indicators that investors look at, such as ROA, ROE, and debt to assets ratio. It seems as if Delta is not able to convince investors they have a means of generating more profit year over year. I would say look at another investment either in another airline or in a different field if you aren't an investor.
I will not be investing in the luggage bandits Delta Airlines. Kurt?
Neither will I, given the information that we have. For that reason, I am out.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, at least they're not Spirit. At least they're not Spirit.
Yes.
All right. Again, thanks for listening to our presentation. Again, my name is Khalil Karaki.
Ferris Medane.
Kurt Schultz.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.